Welcome to Thoro-Graph's 2018 Breeders' Cup Seminar. I'm Jerry Brown. What we're going to be doing in this seminar is discussing the horses that we consider to be serious contenders. If we don't mention a horse, it's because we don't think it's a major factor. Those of you who are not familiar with our data can find out more about it by going to the introductory section of our website. The basic idea is to measure those things that can be measured and factor them into the most accurate speed figure that can be made, creating a Thoro-Graph performance figure. So ground lost or saved on turns as well as weight carried is already factored into the figures for previous races, with 5 pounds worth 1 point on the Thoro-Graph scale. The lower the figure, the better the performance. Big figures are points. The superscript is for quarter points. So big 4 and little 3 means 4 3/4. But the big difference between Thoro-Graph analysis and conventional handicapping is that we then put the performance figures on a graph for each horse, so we can look at form cycles. We do not believe ability is a constant. We believe it changes from race to race for each horse, both in the short and long term. Each Thoro-Graph column is a year, with the calendar starting at the bottom and going up as the year goes on. The Breeders' Cup is back in Kentucky this year, which levels the playing field. Any disadvantage from shipping east to west becomes a non-issue. What is still the same is the calendar. The Breeders' Cup comes at the end of the year. Horses that look like they might be tailing off usually are. In the tables that follow, a new top is defined as more than 1 point better than a previous top. A pair is within 1 point either way of the previous top. An off race has more than 1 but no more than 4 points worse. And an X as worse than that. In general, grass horses run a higher percentage of tops than dirt horses, and that's been true in the Breeders' Cups run outside of California as well. And the Europeans have been even more likely to run their race, with more than half at least pairing their previous tops. So no, the big handicapping question this year does not concern geography. It concerns whether certain trainers are going to be able to get their horses to perform under Breeders' Cup protocols. We don't remember a Breeders' Cup with so many relevant horses trained by move-up guys. Trainers who get greatly improved performances when a horse enters their barn. Most of these trainers have multiple entrants, so it's important to watch their early runners, not necessarily for whether they win, but for whether they run their race. Personally, I'm going to be making a list by race and trainer and checking it as they run the races. Finally, there's the venue. Churchill Downs is a somewhat more level playing field than Keeneland and Del Mar, not just because of geography, but configuration. It has a long stretch and a mile chute for dirt races, so ground loss will be somewhat less of an issue. The discussion that follows assumes saving ground is a plus. But remember, there was a dead rail last year at Del Mar, and there have been others in Breeders' Cups, including at Churchill. Watch the races carefully.